Welcome back to the Human Nexus podcast. My name is Andrew Brazis. I am a marketing professional and private chef.
Welcome back. My name is Miss Laura Machiste. I am an online tarot reader, holistic massage therapist, and energy coach. And today we are talking about the 7 chakras in the energetic field as well as in our body. So, Andrew, what do you know about the 7 chakras?
So I know enough, I think. So the root chakra, actually, I have a list over here. So the root chakra is like your primal urges, right? Like that's like your base. I know about the heart chakra a little bit. I think I learned last podcast that we did that that's related to Leo. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then I know that the throat chakra would be next, and then the crown, no, the third eye, which is temple, and then you have the crown chakra. But I don't know a ton in depth. I don't know enough to like explain about them.
Right.
And I know I
So,
missed a couple there, but
no, that's okay. There's definitely, I feel like in all types of ways of culture and stuff like that, there are more in the other side of the world that kind of deal more with like your chakras and your internal energy for healing and movement
Mhm.
and power and stuff like that. So, when I first came into contact with understanding the body and learning about chakras and stuff like that, it was like really interesting to me for somebody who had anxiety that there are different ways to stimulate your chakras and align them or understand which one is off at a certain moment. And that is where I actually used to, or still do, incorporate the themes of consciousness chart because
Mhm.
that is also based on the chakras energy. So, all the way at the bottom of the consciousness chart, it is red, and then it goes up in color all the way to purple, which is the color of the crown. So there are a lot of like interconnections to your chakra alignment as well as the 7 chakras that we all have. And whether you understand the energetic centers that your body holds or not, they're still there. So basically, to start from the root is red, and that is your primal energy, like your how you ground yourself, how you make yourself feel safe. That's kind of like internal safety, internal comfortability. When you are around an energy that doesn't feel safe for you, the root is kind of like your lower pelvis down the legs. So, when you are not feeling safe, what is going to be the first thing that you decide to do? Figure out where you can walk out of here.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that's insane.
there are those like different connections that I like always speak in metaphor because I feel like it's easier for people to understand when they are connected to something that's familiar to them. And that's going to be different for everybody because everybody has something that's different that's familiar to them. But the root is a lot of survival instinct energy as well. Kind of like what I said too, like when you feel like you're in a fearful situation or something that is in a safety energy, that would really bring you down to your root where you would go into like human survival instincts. You
Hmm.
ever see those videos where, or moments or stories where people tell you, like, I don't know, I just had insane amount of strength that I didn't know I was
Yeah,
this strong. You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah.
Where they like, somebody was stuck underneath a car and they
And they
all of a
like
sudden they
they
lifted.
lift it up. Yeah.
Right. So there are points in your body or chemicals in your body, which equal hormones in anatomy, that are connected to these chakras being ignited. So if you look at your hormone map, where we have our hormonal secretions is where our chakras are. So a lot of people don't know this because when you learn about like science and anatomy, that's what you learn about. And when you learn about this type of chakra and yogi stuff, then you learn about that. But I'm one of those people that try to bring both of the worlds together, which is basically what we're doing on the Human Nexus as well.
Yeah.
That where you can understand them by understanding your own body's energy. So basically, adrenaline is really closely connected to the root chakra. The next one would be your sacral chakra,
Hmm.
which is a deeper orange or an orange hue. And your sacral chakra is connected. It's like right where your reproductive, like the root is a little bit lower than that. It's kind of like at the
Hmm.
tailbone of your spine. And the sacral is more at the base of your reproductive system area. And your reproduction system also secretes hormones that are connected to the sacral chakra, which sacral is like intimacy and
Hmm.
connection and close proximity, as well as your own efforts to process. You get close to, not close, I would say anger is the solar plexus and the sacral. They kind of like get there at the same time. So to go back to the themes of consciousness chart, the root chakra is like shame, guilt, the red. And then the orange is kind of more where you aren't sad anymore, you start to get mad. That's why
So it's
I
more
like,
like passion.
yes,
Yeah.
sacral energy. And like that's why, there's a quote, sacral chakra, love and hate is a fine line.
Yeah.
And it does make sense. Like the passion isn't always something that is being executed for a positive experience.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people will manifest lower belly area when you have like anger issues, or
Interesting.
you're like, yeah, you'll like hold on to like, what do they call it in society? The muffin pouch, not
Yeah.
the abdomen itself, like the muffin part.
Well, that is, I just saw something about cortisol and how it's stored there as well. And that's
Yeah.
kind of like the same thing. Yeah.
Hmm. So the sacral has that connection to the hormones of adrenaline and cortisol.
Hmm.
Cortisol is more of a one that, like, in my perception, right? Everybody has different truths of it and how they feel. But cortisol definitely, I feel like, gives you that ring around the stomach
Hmm.
because it's like when you feel shame and guilt and all of those things in the root chakra and the red, it is an energy that is almost subconscious because unless you're sad and depressed constantly all the time and stuff like
Hmm.
that, then you're going to see manifestations like that everywhere in your body. But a lot of the times when you're like shameful about something, you hide it. You're not
Hmm.
outward with it.
Yeah.
So when you get to the sacral, that's when the energy starts coming out. So when you don't release the anger and you hold on to resentment and stuff like that, it's like that Saturn ring around the stomach, that muffin top that the cortisol sits in, because it's not just a instant moment, it's a suppressed moment, and it is either being triggered while you're angry or being triggered. That's why it's very important like who you are intimate with, because
Hmm.
you're heightening the root and the sacral, which are like your grounding energies. And you can absorb like shame is a huge one. Like the root is crazy, and the red energy is pretty on point with it because you can absorb something from another person that you didn't even know existed
Hmm.
if it's part of the root that they're holding on to and their root
Yeah.
chakras off. And that's a direct impact with intimacy. And that's why a lot of people lose themselves in certain connections with people because of that close proximity and the exchange of energy. And like I said, a lot of times people are not outwardly talking about the things they feel shameful about, but
Yeah.
people are very much outwardly talking about things that make them feel angry more than shame.
Hmm. That's so true.
So, but passion and anger could also be a good thing because if you're super low vibrational and you let people walk all over you and stuff like that, and then you also have the shame towards it, getting mad will help you stand up for yourself. So, the sacral will also help you do that as well. That's why there is that quote in society like once you're intimate it changes everything, and it actually does, like
Yeah, like
energetically.
energetically. Yeah. Mm,
Yes, like
absolutely.
in the body.
Absolutely. What about, oh, actually, no, go ahead.
No, continue. You could.
I'm I'm gonna save it for later after we get through
Oh,
everything.
okay. So next up is we would have the solar plexus. That's where you start to get into the yellow energy. This is when you start to kind of have this energy, sometimes creative, sometimes not. So solar plexus would be like you taking your passions and creativity and using it and expressing it and almost expressing it in a way that's not shameful and not angry. You kind of,
So,
yeah, you go a little up further when you are ruling out of the solar plexus. And that's why it's so important when one of these chakras are off,
mhm,
because you could throw off the energy of the other chakra that is either below it, above it,
mhm,
or I love how I did that backwards. Below it or above it. So you have your solar plexus next, and the solar plexus is like just that creative force. You know, when you get a really inspired idea, and for some reason you just can't sit down, you actually just like have to write about it, or you have to start drawing it now, or you just have to jot some things down. That's the passion of the solar plexus, like guiding the inspiration to be expressed out of you.
would you even say it would be tied into confidence as well?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is a perfect way to get me to the next thing of the solar
Mm,
plexus. Because of it having that yellow hue, it does
mhm,
give you an indication of you finding more of like the light energy inside of you, which
mhm,
then would equal confidence and feeling
yeah.
good and feeling, which would be next is the heart, courageous,
Yeah.
which goes hand in hand with like having that confidence. So say you're aligned, but the solar plexus is off. That means you probably have all these ideas. You probably have all this foundation that you can build it on, but you don't have the confidence to get it out there. Say all of your chakras are aligned, but your root is off. The strong fear will hold it back from you doing it, from you maybe even saying it to other people,
Mm,
things like that, and upward. So the next would be green, and that is, keep in mind, guys, we are doing like the really basic of these chakras. We'll like do like a part two or part three on these and like get deeper into it. But to connect actually the solar plexus, in your stomach, there are adrenal glands which secrete adrenaline, which goes back to where like the muffin pouch comes in when you're super stressed out or something like that, as well as that when you feel like your heart drops,
mhm,
that is not just a saying. Your adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys, which are like right here, like right under that area. So when you have that heart drop feeling, it's not just because of the experience that was happening. Your adrenal glands actually secreted adrenaline in that moment, and that's what you felt.
damn, that's crazy.
So you
And
have adrenaline junkies, you know?
isn't the heart chakra as well kind of like the balance midpoint of the lower and the upper system? It's kind of like where
Yes.
everything comes together.
Yes. And that is why the heart is so important. Because if you notice with the color theory as well, that's why like there's so much to get into this with it. So
Yeah.
trying to just keep it like in basic understanding for the first episode. That if you notice when you go up the chart, red is a similar hue to orange. Orange is a similar hue to yellow, but green is very different from both of those.
Mhm.
So that goes to your connection of like, yes, it is the midpoint way, and the heart is the strongest. It is the center of all of them, but it also has this. Your body has a biomagnetic field, but your heart has its own magnetic field as well. So does your other chakra centers, but the heart expands the strongest, strongest, widest
Mm.
in like actual like quantum physics, the heart.
Interesting.
So the heart, green energy, loving energy, courage, feeling that sense of willingness, not just something I'm going to talk about or think about, but it's something I'm going to do, and I'm going to put my heart into it. I feel like the heart is probably the one of the chakras society has the most difficulty with, specifically men, because of the indication of if you are vulnerable or if you cry, you are weak. So that is actually totally opposite. If
Yeah.
you are vulnerable and you cry, you are actually strong because you are connected to the heart chakra, your strongest center, your strongest energy to work with. So that's why a lot of the times I tell people, just as long as your heart is in it, you're fine. But if your
Hmm.
heart, and that's okay if your heart isn't in it, then you shouldn't be doing it. And maybe
Yes.
you had to experience it to see that, oh, wait, like the ideas were there, the passion was there, the willingness to do it was there, but the actual like heart maybe wasn't. And that's what stops people or changes people's path. And it should, because it will lead you more towards your purpose of where your heart is actually fulfilled in.
Yeah, that's great. And then what's next? The throat.
Yeah, next would be blue for the throat, which another connection to the hormone system in our body. Thyroid is the throat. A lot of the times that also has a ring too. Hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism. You'll see they have like that ring around the
Hmm.
neck or sense of like inflammation in the lymph nodes around this area. I tell people a lot of times, especially when I do body work for the neck, like you don't have a double chin. It is just fluid. And that fluid is lymph connected with the secretion of the hormone and, other things in the body.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
very
when
interesting.
I do energy work with people and I read them first, I will look at their centers. Not even for those types of things. I'll just look at them and see what my imagery gets, which is auras next episode to drop that in real fast while talking
Hmm.
about that. I'll see like the aura around their center. And a lot of the times when people are blocking their throat chakra, they get sore throats a lot, nasal congestion, that nasal drip a lot
Hmm.
as well, where you either feel like they need to swallow it or they need to spit it out. That is a good indication from your body that either maybe you should speak your mind more or maybe learn better ways to communicate that will help you not overthink conversations afterwards and just being more open to express and maybe say yes or maybe say no. The throat chakra is another one that is easily dormant in people, a lot of introverts as well. But that is
Interesting.
the color
That's
blue.
been my biggest. I've been told, I don't know this per se, but I've been told by energy people that's been my biggest blockage
The
is
throat.
the throat. Yeah. So interesting.
So what I tell people, like as their exercise after the session, is like depending on what chakra is blocked or they feel, like if it's the throat, sing in the shower. Do
Interesting.
Yes, do something where you are using the energy, but not in the way that makes you feel like you're freaking out by talking or
Yeah.
making you stop yourself. So singing in the shower is like one of the best things because the shower will have that echo energy from it. So you'll feel the vibration of your voice and it will also help the energy move through your throat chakra. And it works. It's and like I say with readings and sessions and all the time, like usually the answer is simple and maybe it just wasn't
Hmm.
thought about it or someone else just had to say it. And like I said,
Yeah.
another familiar thing that, yeah, so put on a good song or two, sing in the shower if you feel like your throat chakra is blocked, and you will see by the more you are consistent with doing that, that things will start to move for you with the throat chakra and you'll get more in alignment and in that confidence of using it for your advantage.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Which
That's
is
so crazy.
also, oh, no, I already said that. Color blue as well. You also have like the points of sadness right here as well,
Hmm.
like in acupressure. So if you're ever like feeling upset, blue, like the saying feeling blue, your points are by the throat chakra, sort of ish, to press into to release that energy as well.
Very cool.
Do you have any question until I do the next one?
No, I think that's great. I think I'm learning things. I'm definitely gonna try singing in the shower eventually. Maybe not today, but tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll start to, it can't just be a one time thing. You have to do it a couple of
Yeah,
times.
you gotta like continue to do it.
Yeah. And at first it might feel a little bit weird, but no one
Mm.
can hear you.
Well, my neighbors are gonna hate me, but that's all right.
Do you think they'll be able to hear you?
Oh, yeah, these walls are so thin. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. All
That's all
right,
right though.
well, put blast the music and then just sing
Yeah.
at that level. So the next chakra is your third eye, which is in the center of your
Mm.
forehead. Third eye is like a deeper blue, connected to your intuition. Imagination is really big with the third eye. The mind's eye, seeing things, dreams as well. I would say the third eye is kind of like an indigo type of blue. You'll know if your third eye is blocked if you have trouble making decisions. And
Interesting.
yeah, because how do I explain this in a way where it's like easily understandable? So, if you have trouble making decisions, there could definitely be a blockage in your third eye because the third eye indicates like having clear vision, not outwardly, but inwardly. So, when you don't have that, following your inspiration, following your calling, following what you feel, like ask yourself, you probably, maybe you, Andrew, or the person watching here, you probably have a repeated thought that you just like know you feel like you should do,
Mhm.
but you haven't done it. Maybe it's to go to the new store that opened up 4 towns over last year and you just don't know. Like that is your third eye trying to get you to make choices. And they're simple choices or they're big choices, but it does help you. So the third eye will also be blocked. Funny, so I'll give you a little indication of a story. I'm a Pisces. There actually we rule like the third eye area, stuff like that. And when I was in a very, very like horrible relationship that I was not making a decision to leave,
Mhm.
like I said, third eye rules like dreams and stuff like that. So what do you think my subconscious third eye energy was giving me in the 5D?
Head headaches or no?
Nightmares.
Oh shit.
It was like you're not going to make the decision in waking day. We're just going to keep giving you crap. And I kid
Damn.
you not, the nightmare stopped when I finally decided to leave the person.
That's so crazy.
There, I bet you there are other people who I
Oh
specifically
yeah.
specifically maybe women more because they do have that more connection to the intuition and feelings and stuff like that, and maybe have a little bit more trouble detaching from things that don't serve them. But I know there's some women out there that you had nightmare after nightmare after nightmare being with that person, and you just kept being with that person because I get it. I had them. I probably had nightmares for like at least 4 to 5 months before I was kind of like, you're pissing me off in the regular day, and now you're pissing me off while I'm
Mhm.
sleeping the only time I have a break from. Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy. I mean, it makes sense though. Is it
Mm-hmm.
also third eye? Isn't it also related to like spiritual intuition?
Yeah, so the third eye and the crown take
Hmm.
that together. But
Okay.
I'm glad you just brought that up because I was just going to bring up the high priestess being the tarot card that would rule the third eye to me. And she is card number 2, decisions. But making those wise, intuitive decisions. And I feel like in my perception, right? Everybody has their own truth. I feel like third eye is more of a connection to your higher self, and the crown is more of the connection to the divine. And I will
I
give
see.
you, and I feel like they work together, and they work together with the gland that is in your brain, the pineal gland, which
Hmm.
also secretes hormone. So still you have your hormone centers and now you have your energy centers. And so to go to the crown, which is kind of like a lighter, I don't want to say light pink, like a fuchsia, the crown. Some would go straight to like purple, but I've seen it be fuchsia. Actually, no, in the themes of consciousness chart, that high up of the crown is like almost like purple-ish, like lilac. So yeah, yes, because violet is the connection to spiritual source and stuff like that, purple energy. So yeah, I would say like the third eye with the higher self works together with the crown. They're both in the same like area of the body as well. And the crown really indicates that strong connection to source. So in religious imagery, you'll see they have the crown or like something on top of their head. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
where they have like either like angels like have the halo. I know Jesus had like that circle on top of his
Hmm.
head. So that is the divine connection, like the source connection on
Yeah,
top of the head.
it's so interesting.
Yeah.
And with all of these, there's they can be opened or closed. I think that's something I will get into in another episode, but they're not all working in the same way at the same time. You have like your root chakra could be closed off, and then there's negative things that come to that, but you can always also cleanse it, open it up, and that becomes a little bit more, what's the word, pleasant maybe for you. And I've also heard, I don't know how far this goes, but that there are also these chakras are in motion in a spiral formation. Have you heard about this?
Yeah. So chakra, look at you go.
Yeah, I
You're
know, thanks.
you're bringing up like information. Like I have like file cabinet of
Mhm.
information in my brain. So chakra means wheel.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
That makes sense.
That was actually one of my test questions in school because we had like an energetic modality module and we learned about chakras, key, life force, like stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I remember one of my questions was, what does the word chakra mean? And it is translated to the word wheel. So yeah, they spin, or they're sometimes you can like have it's doing too much. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you can overuse the energy where it's like spinning too fast. Like people with anxiety have probably an overuse of the lower chakras and an overuse of probably, I would say, the third eye in a way where it's like not being used nicely, where you're like
Hmm.
imagining like bad scenarios and
Yeah.
horrible thoughts. Like, yeah, people with anxiety definitely have the wheels of their chakras, of those lower centers, are definitely spinning too fast.
So when people say balance your chakras, it's, I mean, as literal as it can be. Like, you don't want everything out of whack, but you don't want things not moving at all. What would, if you could add like a simple practice to balance chakras, what would that look like?
Meditation is always good. Doing
Mhm.
something physical is good as well because your chakras are connected like to your body. And a lot of times, like we get disconnected to our body. So, doing like any type of physical activity, whether you're walking down
Mhm.
the street and back up the street, meditation for like the mind energy, just get observant. And I feel like that should be something that we are practicing all the time. When you observe your energy, things start to make more sense. So, for example, I'm like super observational. So, if I have an experience that I never had before, and then I feel like I have a stomach ache after, then there's probably something off in my energy that has to do with my lower centers, or if I have a headache, or
Mhm.
I would get kink in my neck sometimes as well. See, like those types of things, they when they're happening, it's annoying, so we don't observe them.
Yeah.
And just like what they say with the mind, like observe the thoughts, don't integrate yourself into them and make
Mhm.
them you. And that's the same thing with like body pain and stuff like that. And that's funny. Not that I want another kink in my neck. I do not. But I was getting kinks in my neck very frequently at certain points in time. And I actually haven't had one in a while. So my observation goes, oh my gosh, wait, what was I doing or what energy was I in that created like a chronic kink in my neck for whatever period amount of time? So I would just say to get observational. Like when something feels off in your energy or your body, like Google is free. Look it up. What chakra is
Mhm.
this? That would be connected to foot pain. A lot of the times, like when people come in with lower back pain, I ask them, are you staying somewhere that you know you need to leave? Or are you wanting to walk somewhere that you know you want to go towards, but you're not? And usually the answer is yes to one of those two. And that's because it's manifesting in the lower center of the leg.
It's so interesting. So basically, what you're saying is if something's off, observe it, don't dismiss it for like some small whatever. Like
Right.
take the time to look it up, look into it a little bit. I think that's good. That's really wise.
Because if you like, say if you like wake up with a kink in your neck, if
Mhm.
you're not observational to like energy and stuff like that, you're automatically just going to be like, oh, I slept wrong, go about
Yeah.
my day. Oh, I shouldn't, I wore this thing that was pressing on my neck or something like that. And then you disconnect from the body. So every single time you blame body pain or something like that on something outward that wasn't actually a literal physical injury to you, then you are disconnecting to your body.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Because, you
That's
know,
smart.
I could give a practice. I just would say, like, any type of like physical activity that you could do, which could be different for everybody.
Hmm.
Some people like to jump rope. Some people like to walk. Some people, I don't know, maybe are on the trampoline. So whatever could just make you feel connected to the movement of yourself will be
Something
helpful.
something that I've found that it's helped me is I'll do these like I'll just Google chakra meditation on YouTube. And some of them are really long, but some of them are like 10 minutes. And it'll just visualize you going through the colors and the energy for like 10 minutes. And that for me has been so good. Like afterwards, I feel more balanced. I feel more calm. It's it's the practice that I lean into. But I also
Yeah.
like I move daily, so that's like not a thing. But now I'm adding singing to the shower in there.
That's
So
actually a really good idea too. Like if you do a meditation that what Andrew was saying was like visualizing the chakras and the colors, try to observe what color is hardest for you to visualize. That is going to be a key to what chakra of yours is off. And another thing too, as a holistic massage therapist, I should have been said this, go get a massage. Because a lot of the times they're working on your body and all of a sudden they press on your quad and you're like, "Oh my gosh, that's the worst pain I've ever felt in my life." But your thigh hasn't been hurting you. But when
mhm.
that person pressed on it through their routine of massage, it bothered you. So connect it, things like that. Sometimes like when I do this part on people, they'll be like, wow, like I didn't even know the head or like this part of your body could feel so good. It's such like a simple, small area. And I'm like,
Mhm.
actually, this is the one of the best places to feel, but everyone always has pain in their back.
Yeah.
But a lot of
Damn.
the times I tell people, like, if you want like the full healing experience to like reconnect to your body and like figure out what could be off, you have to let them massage your head. Like you, it's just there's so many. You have almost four centers take up this area. The root gets extended down the leg, so the body is actually telling you where the importance is.
Next time, we're going to go over auras, energy body, intuition, things like that. Yeah. Thank everybody for watching, listening. Comment down below your chakra experience, knowledge.
Yes, let us know what your experience with chakras are, or if you have any questions about them as well after watching this video. And we'll see you for the next one. Bye.